How you all doing? I've managed to complete one of my 2022 goals, like, really early. I'd aimed for June. What are you on about, mate? I had a VR goal for 2022. I wanted full body tracking. We've done it. But why full body tracking? What's the point? What is the point? VR is VR, right? No. I like VR. I really do quite enjoy VR, but if there's one thing that really, really rags me off, completely breaks my immersion, is not having legs. Or at least not having my legs connected to my physical being. Loads of people complain about stuff like, mate, the thing that really does it for me in VR is screen door effect. The ability to see lines between pixels on the displays in your VR headset. Oh, the thing that really does me in VR is the graphics. Right, so, okay. Zenith is one that really did my head in. Zenith: The Last City. I've put over 100 hours into that game. It's a VR MMO. And all of the characters in that game move like this. And their legs just go as that, because you're just moving with a stick. And because no one's moving their upper body, because they're just standing there pushing the stick, going, and so your character's going to be like going across. I hate it. Right? You find a nice place to sit in VR chat, and you park your ass. It's pretty nice. And then as soon as I move my legs and see nothing happen, my immersion's fucked. It's gone. I don't care about screen door. I don't care about the pixels. I don't care about the graphics. Because like I've said millions of times before, VR as it stands is currently in its it's in its infancy still. You know, it really only hit consumer grade in 2016. You know, right now we're in the blob pixels, rocking through around crappy mazes with crappy graphics with not so great tech, but I really don't think that having a higher resolution display on some of these headsets is really going to save it, to save screen door and to let you see the fantastic graphics. Because if you look at most of the games, I should say games because really VR is better as a social experience, but if you look at most of the stuff in VR, it looks shit because it's made by indie developers. It looks absolutely shit. I was a bit wound up about this. I wanted to get Slime VR for my Oculus Quest 2, but Slime VR ain't available until around November, and that's only assuming you put in a pre-order like months ago. I think it's like September, the end of the year. September, November, whenever. It's got a burr at the end of it. That's quite a few of the months of the year. Yeah, it's one of those at the end of the year. Right? If you haven't got your pre-order, you don't get it. That's a base stationless tracking setup for any VR headset. You run a little server on your computer and it does everything. It does some magic maths and it figures out where things are based on sensor location and some information that you give it and gravy. Okay, what about other tracking solutions? The Haratora X, I believe that's how you pronounce it. I can never pronounce it. That's another one like Slime VR, but it has all cables and stuff attached to it. So instead of it being completely wireless, you have strap on your leg, strap on your feet, and there's a cable going off a central unit down to all of the individual sensors, and that does the same thing as Slime, base stationless, but the cables. I don't like the idea of the cables, because you could, like, if you lift your leg high up enough in VR, you'll catch the cable and you'll rip something out, and I don't like the idea. Don't care how good the quality of the tracking is, if I'm likely to break it, I ain't using it. And then of course there's base station tracking. Now, I've now got base stations up in my house. I've used base stations. My first headset had base stations. I didn't like them because every single time I set up and then had to move, or someone wanted to do something, I had to pack up my base stations, move them, reset them up, recalibrate my play area, all that kind of stuff. Just not cool. Now, I can just have them hooked up on little rails by my door. So then that opens up stuff like Vive trackers and Tundra trackers and bits like that. But fuck me, can you get a hold of Tundra? Like, everyone wants Tundras because they're smaller, newer, a little bit cheaper, depending on where you get them from, right? But you can't get them anywhere. You just can't get them. They sell out almost the instant they get put back in stock. The one thing though that you can get and has been readily available the entire time, because we're in the middle of a global chip shortage, right? The one thing that's been available the entire time, Vive trackers. Old school, original ass Vive trackers, or Vive Tracker 3s. And I managed to get 2 Vive trackers. You need 3 for full body. And then this morning, my dear mum come round and she hands me a box. And in that box, there's a 3rd Vive tracker. Thank you, mum. I couldn't get that 3rd tracker. And me mum picked it up. So now I've got, it's not like, you know, I can't remember how many points it is. You can have up to 10 points now. So you'd have your hands, your melon, feet, waist, knees, elbows, you know, wherever else you want to track. But the standard full body tracking, feet, waist, hands, head, magical. All I've wanted to do is kick somebody in VR. And god damn it, satisfaction! Having legs in VR is magical. Although, minor issue, the avatar I use in VR chat seems to break whenever I try to use full body on that. So I'm going to have to find another avatar to use, or make my own at some point in the blender. So, but yes! I'd still like to get tundras or slimes or whatever, just as it stands, given that I'm on Linux right now, my operating system right now is Linux. There's only 2 headsets that officially support Linux. The Vive, the original HTC Vive, and the Valve Index. I have a Vive. No Quest support. None at all. Unless you look for open source software. Oculus don't give a fuck. And the Haratora X, or whatever it is, that's Windows. I don't know if it has a Linux client. I know Slime that'll give you the source code. You can just compile your own setup for it. But that would only then leave, if you're going to go for the official, fully supported Linux stuff, Tundras, Vive trackers. Everyone wants Tundras though, because all the VR tubers and that literally rub themselves raw over those damn things. And they're only realistically marginally smaller. Or you have the ability to loop them on, they have like a belt loop or a screw-on like threaded mount thing, but so you've got a few mounting options and they're a teeny bit smaller. I think the only bonus to me that the Tundras have is that you don't have to have multiple dongles set up. You have to have a dongle per tracker for Vive, Tracker 3s. For Tundras, you can just buy one of their kind of super dongles where it'll allow you to have like 3 or 4 trackers connected at once. Funny thing is, if you bought one of those dongles separate, you could hook it up to Vive trackers. But yeah, well chuffed. I completed my VR goal the early. Thanks to me mum. Bless her. It's expensive. Well, the tracky stuff it's like £130 per tracker. But it's so fun. And now I don't have to look at my cat and go, duh, as he runs across the screen. I mean, admittedly, I'm still going to have to do most movement through stick because I don't have a lot of room in my play space, but at least my hips and my feet are attached to my body now. That's one less point where immersion is broken because, as I say, we're in the Atari generation. VR isn't going to be about resolution. I'll tell you the games where resolution matters. Simulators. Elite Dangerous. Microsoft Flight Simulator. Any of the driving games. But most other VR experiences, resolution means dick fuck all. A lot of these experiences look like they came from the early 2000s. They don't need resolution. They just don't. They don't need the resolution. It is literally like plugging an Atari into an 8K OLED. It's not going to give you a better experience at all. And screen door ain't that big of a deal. I mean, I can remember the days of the old CRT and you press it. What a screen door is if you're old enough to know what a CRT is, right? Just press your face up against your screen and be like, look at all the little dots, mate. Screen door, it's the same thing, you can just see the... It's not that big of a fucking deal. As long as you can read shit. Get over it, you scrubs. Sorry, I'm going off on a bit of a rant because I am exhausted. Absolutely exhausted. I hope you're well. This is not how I planned for this video to come about, but we were literally leaving it until the very, very last minute to record on the day. I'll see you all with a bit of luck in the next one.